Derek Thompson grabbed his 75-year-old mother by the arm and dragged her toward the front door. "Derek, please," Eleanor begged. "I'm your mother. You can't do this. Watch me." He yanked the door open and shoved her outside. She stumbled down the porch steps, her frail body hitting the concrete walkway. "My clothes," she cried. "My medicine. At least let me take my medicine." Derek disappeared inside. He came back 30 seconds later with a plastic grocery bag. He threw it at her. It landed in a puddle from last night's rain. "There. That's everything you own now." Eleanor crawled toward the bag, her knees scraping against the wet ground. "The house. Marcus bought this house for me. You can't just—" "Marcus?" Derek laughed. "Marcus isn't here. Marcus hasn't been here for 30 years. And guess what, Mom? He's never coming. So stop waiting for your precious golden boy and face reality." "But where am I supposed to go?" "I don't care. Sleep on the street. Sleep in a dumpster. Die in a ditch. It's not my problem anymore." "Derek, I raised you. I fed you. I loved you. How can you do this to me?" Derek walked back to the door. He turned around one last time. "You want to know how?" "Because for 30 years all you talked about was Marcus. Marcus the smart one. Marcus the successful one. Marcus who was going to save us all. Well, Mom, Marcus abandoned you. And now so am I." He slammed the door. Eleanor sat on the wet ground, clutching the plastic bag with everything she owned. She was 70 years old. She had no money, no phone, no friends, no family. And her son had just thrown her away like garbage. That was 5 years ago. Hello everyone, thank you for watching. Before we continue with this powerful story, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We share amazing stories like this every week. Also, comment below and let us know where you are watching from. Are you in New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, Miami? Anywhere in the world, we want to hear from you. Now let us continue with the story. Part 1. The Recognition. The phone call came at 6:47 a.m. Marcus Thompson was already awake, already dressed in his $3,000 suit, already reviewing the contracts that would make him a billionaire in less than 4 hours. His phone buzzed. Private number. He answered anyway. "Marcus Thompson." "Is this the Marcus Thompson who used to live on Maple Street in Brooklyn?" Marcus froze. No one called him about Brooklyn. No one even knew he was from Brooklyn. "Who is this?" "My name is Father Williams. I run a homeless shelter in Manhattan, St. Mary's on 42nd Street. "I think you have the wrong number." "I don't think I do, Mr. Thompson. I found your business card in an old woman's pocket. She's been staying at our shelter for 3 months. She talks about you constantly, says you're her son, says you're going to come rescue her any day now." Marcus's blood went cold. "What old woman?" "She says her name is Eleanor Thompson, 75 years old, gray hair, very thin, very sick. She keeps a photograph of you in her coat pocket, shows it to everyone." "That's impossible. My mother lives in Boston. I send her money every month. I bought her a house." Father Williams was quiet for a moment. "Mr. Thompson, I don't know what you think is happening, but this woman has been homeless for at least 5 years. She came to New York because she thought you were here. She's been looking for you." "That can't be right." "I'm telling you what I know, and I'm telling you that she collapsed last night. She's in bad shape. If you're really her son, you should come see her. Today, before it's too late." The line went dead. Marcus stared at his phone. His hands were shaking. He dialed his brother Derek. The phone rang once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. "What?" Derek's voice was thick with sleep. "Where is Mom?" Silence. "Derek, I asked you a question. Where is our mother? Why are you calling me at 6 in the morning?" "Because a priest just called me from a homeless shelter in Manhattan. He says Mom has been living there for 3 months. He says she's been homeless for 5 years. He says she's dying. So I'm asking you one more time. Where is our mother?" Derek laughed. The sound made Marcus want to reach through the phone and strangle him. So you finally found out, Derek said. Took you long enough. What are you talking about? I'm talking about the truth, big brother. The truth you've been too busy to notice for the last 5 years. Mom isn't in Boston. She hasn't been in Boston since I kicked her out. You what? I kicked her out, 5 years ago. Threw her out on the street with nothing but the clothes on her back. And you know what? It felt good. Marcus couldn't breathe. You kicked out our 70-year-old mother. 75 now, but who's counting? Not you, obviously. You couldn't even be bothered to visit once in 30 years. I sent money, every month, thousands of dollars. I bought her a house. Yeah, about that. Derek's voice turned smug. I sold the house, 8 years ago, got a great price. Boston real estate, you know. And all that money you kept sending, I spent it. Every single cent. Nice cars, nice vacations, nice life. Thanks for that, by the way. Marcus felt like the floor had dropped out from under him. You stole from her. You stole from our mother. I took what I was owed. You abandoned us, Marcus. You walked out when I was 10 years old and never came back. Not once. Not for Christmas. Not for birthdays. Not even when Dad died. You just sent checks like that, made everything okay. So you punished her. She didn't do anything wrong. She defended you, Derek screamed. Every single day, Marcus is a good son. Marcus is working hard. Marcus loves us. Marcus is coming back. I was sick of hearing it. I was sick of watching her sit by that window waiting for you. So yeah, I took the money. I took the house. And I took the one thing she cared about more than anything. What's that? Hope. I took her hope. I told her you were never coming. I told her you didn't care. I told her to stop waiting for a son who forgot she existed. And then I threw her out. Marcus was going to be sick. Where did she go? How should I know I didn't care then, and I don't care now? She's your mother. Your favorite mother for your favorite son. Go find her yourself. She's dying, Derek. The priest said she's dying. Then I guess you'd better hurry. Derek hung up. Marcus stood in his penthouse apartment surrounded by everything money could buy and felt it all turn to ash. His mother was dying in a homeless shelter. His brother had stolen everything, and Marcus hadn't known. For 5 years he hadn't known. His phone buzzed. His assistant, Rebecca. Sir, the car is downstairs. We need to leave in 10 minutes if we're going to make the meeting. The investors are flying in from Tokyo. They won't wait. Cancel it. I'm sorry. Cancel the meeting. Cancel everything. Sir, this is a billion-dollar deal. 2 years of work. You can't just... My mother is dying. The words tasted like broken glass. I have to go. Sir, I don't understand. Marcus hung up. He grabbed his coat and ran. The traffic was brutal. Manhattan at rush hour was always brutal. But today, every red light felt like torture. Every stopped cab felt like a personal attack. Can't you go faster? Marcus demanded. His driver, James, shook his head. I'm sorry, sir. There's construction on 42nd. We're completely blocked. Then I'll walk. Marcus threw open the door and stepped into the street. Horns blared. A taxi driver cursed at him. He didn't care. He ran. 3 blocks, then 4, then 5. His expensive shoes slapped against the pavement. His suit jacket flew behind him. People stared at the crazy rich man sprinting through Manhattan like his life depended on it. Because it did. St. Mary's homeless shelter was a gray building wedged between a liquor store and a pawn shop. Marcus burst through the front door, gasping for breath. Father Williams, he panted. I need to see Father Williams. A young woman at the front desk looked up startled. Do you have an appointment? I'm Marcus Thompson. He called me this morning. About my mother, Eleanor Thompson. He said she was here. He said she was dying. The woman's face changed. Recognition. Pity. Wait here. She disappeared through a door. Marcus stood in the lobby, his heart pounding so hard he could hear it. The shelter smelled like disinfectant and despair. Old people sat in plastic chairs along the walls, staring at nothing. Was his mother one of them? Had she sat in those chairs? Had she eaten in these halls? Had she slept on a cot in this building while he signed million-dollar contracts in glass towers? Mr. Thompson. A man in a priest's collar approached. He was older, maybe 60, with kind eyes and a tired face. Father Williams. Yes, thank you for coming so quickly. Your mother. She talks about you constantly. She'll be so happy to see you. Where is she? Follow me. But I should warn you. Father Williams paused. She's not well. The years on the street have taken a terrible toll. You need to prepare yourself. Just take me to her. They walked down a long hallway. Past dormitories filled with cots. Past a cafeteria where volunteers served breakfast. Past a medical clinic where a nurse was checking an old man's blood pressure. Finally, they stopped at a small room at the end of the hall. She's in here, Father Williams said. We moved her to a private room last night after she collapsed. The doctor says it's her heart. It's failing. Marcus pushed open the door, and there she was, his mother. She was lying on a narrow cot covered with a thin blanket. Her hair was gray and tangled. Her face was gaunt, the bones visible beneath papery skin. Her eyes were closed. An oxygen tube ran to her nose. She looked like a skeleton wearing human skin. Marcus felt his knees buckle. This couldn't be his mother. His mother was strong. His mother was vibrant. His mother had held 3 jobs to feed her sons. His mother had laughed and cooked and sung while she did the dishes. This woman looked like she was already dead. Mom. His voice cracked. Eleanor's eyes fluttered open. They were cloudy, unfocused. She squinted at him like she couldn't see properly. Who's there? Mom, it's me. It's Marcus. Her eyes widened. Her cracked lips trembled. Marcus. My Marcus. Yes, Mom. I'm here. I came. No. She shook her head weakly. No, you're not real. You're a dream. I dream about you every night. But you never come. You never really come. Marcus crossed the room in 2 strides. He dropped to his knees beside her cot and grabbed her hand. It felt like holding a bundle of twigs. I'm real, Mom. Feel me. I'm here. I'm really here. Eleanor stared at him. Tears started rolling down her cheeks, cutting tracks through the dirt on her face. You came, she whispered. After all these years, you finally came. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I thought you were safe. I thought you were in the house. I didn't know Derek. Derek. Her face twisted with pain. He threw me out 5 years ago. He said you weren't coming. He said you didn't love me. He said I should stop waiting. He was lying. I love you, Mom. I've always loved you. I sent money every month. I bought you that house. I thought I was taking care of you. I didn't know he was stealing everything. Eleanor's hand tightened on his. You really sent money? Every month. For 20 years. Thousands of dollars. I thought you were comfortable. I thought you were happy. I never imagined... His voice broke. I never imagined you were out here. Alone. Suffering. I looked for you, Eleanor said. Her voice was so weak Marcus had to lean close to hear her. When Derek threw me out, I came to New York. I knew you were here somewhere. I walked the streets looking for you. I asked everyone if they knew Marcus Thompson. I slept in subway stations. I ate from garbage cans. But I never gave up. I knew you would find me eventually. Marcus was sobbing now. He didn't care that Father Williams was watching. He didn't care about anything except his mother's hand in his. 5 years, he said. You were homeless for 5 years, looking for me. I never stopped believing in you. Eleanor reached up and touched his face with her trembling hand. Even when Derek said you forgot about me, even when years passed, I knew my son loved me. I knew you would come. I'm taking you home, Mom. Right now. You're coming home with me. Home? She looked confused. I don't have a home. Yes, you do. My home. Our home. You're going to have the best doctors, the best care, everything you need. I'm going to fix this, Mom. I'm going to make this right. Eleanor smiled weakly. You always were my favorite. Mom, don't say that. It's true. I loved you both the same, but you were special. You had fire. You had dreams. That's why I let you go. That's why I didn't beg you to stay. I knew you needed to spread your wings. I should have come back. I should have visited. I was a coward, Mom. I was ashamed of leaving, and the longer I stayed away, the harder it got to come back. I told myself I was building something for us. I told myself the money was enough. But it wasn't. Nothing is enough, except being there. You're here now. Eleanor's eyes started to close. That's all that matters. Mom, stay with me. I'm tired, Marcus. So tired. You can rest soon, but first we need to get you out of here. Father Williams. The priest stepped forward. Yes. I need an ambulance. The best hospital in the city. I don't care what it costs. I'll call right away. Father Williams hurried out. Marcus stayed on his knees, holding his mother's hand, watching her breathe. Each breath seemed harder than the last. Each exhale seemed like it might be the final one. Mom, I need you to fight. Can you do that? Can you fight for me? Eleanor's eyes opened again. I've been fighting for 5 years, baby. I'm not sure how much fight I have left. Then fight for one more day, 1 more hour, just long enough for me to get you somewhere safe. Please, Mom, I just found you. I can't lose you again. You never lost me. Eleanor squeezed his hand. A mother's love doesn't disappear just because her son isn't there. I carried you in my heart every single day. You were always with me. On the coldest nights, in the darkest hours. I thought about you and it kept me warm. Marcus broke down completely. 30 years of guilt came pouring out in great heaving sobs. He pressed his forehead against his mother's hand and cried like the child he had once been. I'm sorry, he said between sobs. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Shh. Eleanor stroked his hair with her free hand. It's okay, baby. I forgave you a long time ago. The question is, can you forgive yourself? No, never. I don't deserve forgiveness. That's where you're wrong. Eleanor's voice was surprisingly firm. Everyone deserves forgiveness. Even Derek, even you. That's what love is. It forgives when forgiveness seems impossible. How can you say that? After everything he did to you. Because he's my son. Just like you're my son. I can't hate my own children. I can only love them and hope they find their way back to me. The ambulance arrived. Paramedics rushed in with a stretcher. They checked Eleanor's vitals, attached monitors started an IV. The numbers on the screens made them exchange worried glances. Her blood pressure is dangerously low, one of them said. We need to move her now. Where are you taking her? Marcus demanded. Mount Sinai, it's closest. No. Take her to New York Presbyterian, the cardiology unit. I'll call ahead. Sir, with her condition. I'll pay whatever it costs. Triple your rates. Just take her to the best hospital in the city. The paramedics looked at each other. Then they nodded. They loaded Eleanor onto the stretcher. Marcus walked beside her, still holding her hand, as they wheeled her out of the shelter. A crowd had gathered outside. Homeless people from the shelter, staff members, passers-by who noticed the ambulance. They watched as the old woman was carried out as the rich man in the expensive suit climbed into the ambulance beside her. Who's that? Someone asked. Father Williams stood on the steps watching the ambulance pull away. That, he said quietly, is a son who finally came home. The ride to the hospital took 7 minutes. It felt like 7 hours. Marcus held his mother's hand the whole way. The paramedics worked around him, adjusting the IV, checking the monitors, radioing ahead to the emergency room. "Stay with me, Mom," Marcus kept saying. "Stay with me." Eleanor's eyes were closed, but her fingers twitched in his grip. She was still there, still fighting. When they arrived at the hospital, a team of doctors was waiting. They rushed Eleanor through the emergency room doors, shouting orders and medical terms Marcus didn't understand. A nurse tried to stop him from following. "Sir, you can't go back there. Family waits in the—" "That's my mother. I'm not leaving her." "Sir, please." "I said I'm not leaving her." The nurse stepped back, startled by the intensity in his voice. A doctor intervened. "Let him come. He can wait outside the treatment room. But sir, you need to stay out of the way. Your mother is in critical condition. We need space to work." Marcus nodded. He followed the team through the doors, stopping when they wheeled Eleanor into a treatment room. Through the window he watched them work, connecting monitors, inserting tubes, pumping her chest when her heart rhythm went erratic. He pressed his hand against the glass. "Fight, Mom. Please fight." His phone buzzed. Rebecca again. "Sir, the investors left. They said if you can't be bothered to show up, they'll take their money elsewhere. 2 years of work gone. I hope whatever you're doing is worth it." Marcus hung up without responding. 2 years of work. $1 billion. None of it mattered anymore. The only thing that mattered was behind that glass fighting for her life. An hour passed, then 2, then 3. Finally, a doctor emerged. Her face was impossible to read. "Mr. Thompson." "How is she?" "Stable. For now. We've managed to stabilize her heart rhythm, but the damage is extensive. Years of malnutrition exposure, untreated diabetes, untreated hypertension. Her body has been shutting down slowly for a long time. We're doing everything we can, but you should prepare yourself." "Prepare myself for what?" "She may not survive the week. Her heart is too damaged. Even with the best care, the odds are not good." Marcus felt the floor tilt beneath him. "Can I see her?" "She's sedated, but yes, you can sit with her." Marcus walked into the treatment room. His mother was surrounded by machines now. Monitors beeped rhythmically. An oxygen mask covered her face. She looked smaller than ever, swallowed by the hospital bed, and all the equipment keeping her alive. He sat down beside her and took her hand. "I found you, Mom," he whispered. "And I'm not going anywhere, not this time. Whatever happens, I'll be right here." His phone buzzed. An unknown number. He almost ignored it, but something made him answer. "Marcus Thompson." "Hey, big brother." Derek's voice was mocking. "I heard you finally found our dear mother. How's she doing? Still breathing?" Marcus's grip tightened on the phone. "What do you want?" "Just calling to see how your day is going. Lose any billion-dollar deals lately?" "You're a monster. You know that." "Maybe. But at least I'm an honest monster. I told you exactly what I did and why. Can you say the same? Can you honestly say you didn't abandon her first? I sent money. I tried to take care of her. You sent guilt money. There's a difference. You know what Mom wanted more than money. She wanted you. She wanted her son to walk through the door and hug her and tell her he loved her. But you couldn't do that, could you? Too busy building your empire. Too busy becoming a big shot. Too busy forgetting where you came from." "I never forgot." "Really? Then why didn't you visit?" "In 30 years, Marcus, not once. You could afford a private jet, but you couldn't afford a trip home." Marcus didn't have an answer. "That's what I thought?" Derek laughed. "Enjoy your guilt, big brother. It's going to eat you alive. And when Mom dies, and she will die, they always do, you're going to have to live with the fact that you weren't there. For 30 years you weren't there, and all the money in the world won't change that." "I'm going to find you," Marcus said quietly. "And when I do, you're going to pay for what you did. Good luck with that. I'm already gone. Sold everything, moved out of the country. You'll never find me. I'll spend every dollar I have. Then you'll spend every dollar you have chasing a ghost. And while you're doing that, Mom will die alone, just like she's been alone for 5 years. Just like she would have been alone forever if that priest hadn't called you." Marcus wanted to scream. He wanted to throw the phone against the wall. He wanted to reach through the connection and wrap his hands around his brother's throat, but his mother was lying right there, dying, and he couldn't leave her, not for revenge, not for anything. Goodbye, Derek. Goodbye, Marcus. Give Mom my love. Oh, wait, I don't have any love to give. I guess she'll just have to settle for yours, if you can figure out how to give it. The line went dead. Marcus put his phone away and looked at his mother's face, peaceful in sedation, unaware of the chaos around her, unaware that one son was plotting revenge while the other had just escaped into the wind. "I'm sorry, Mom," Marcus whispered. "I'm sorry I wasn't there. I'm sorry I trusted the wrong person. I'm sorry I let money be my substitute for love. But I'm here now, and I swear to you on my life I will never leave you again." Her fingers twitched in his grip. Marcus liked to think she heard him. He stayed by her bedside all night. Doctors came and went. Nurses checked monitors and adjusted medications. At one point, her heart stopped completely, and Marcus watched in horror as they shocked her back to life. But she kept fighting. Hour after hour, she kept fighting. Just like she had fought for 5 years on the streets. Just like she had fought her whole life. At dawn, Marcus made a decision. He took out his phone and called his lawyer. "Michael, I need you to do something for me. I want to create a foundation, a shelter for elderly people who have been abandoned by their families. I want it operational within 6 months, and I want to name it after my mother." "Marcus, that's a significant undertaking. The legal requirements alone. I don't care about the requirements. Make it happen. Use whatever resources you need, whatever money. I don't care about any of it anymore." "Can I ask what brought this on?" Marcus looked at his mother, still breathing, still fighting. "I found out what really matters, and I'm never going to forget again." He hung up the phone. Outside the window, the sun was rising over New York City. A new day, a new beginning. And somewhere out there, Derek was running. But he couldn't run forever. Marcus would find him, eventually. And when he did, there would be a reckoning. But first he had to save his mother. He had to show her that her faith in him wasn't misplaced. He had to prove that love, even 30 years late, could still make a difference. He squeezed her hand. "I'm here, Mom. I'm finally here. And this time, I'm staying." Her monitors beeped steadily, and Marcus Thompson, billionaire, began to cry. 3 days passed. Eleanor remained unconscious. The machines kept her breathing. The monitors kept her heart beating, but she wouldn't wake up. Marcus hadn't left the hospital room. He slept in the chair beside her bed. He ate whatever the nurses brought him. He ignored the hundreds of calls from his office, from his investors, from the media, that had somehow learned about his canceled billion-dollar deal. None of it mattered. On the 4th morning, Eleanor opened her eyes. "Marcus." He jerked awake instantly. Mom, can you hear me? Where am I?" "You're in the hospital. You're safe. Everything is going to be okay." Eleanor looked around the room slowly. The monitors, the IV tubes, the oxygen mask that had been replaced with a simple nasal cannula. Her eyes filled with confusion. "Hospital? I can't afford a hospital. I don't have insurance. I don't have anything." "I'm paying for everything. Don't worry about money. Just focus on getting better." "You're really here." Eleanor reached up and touched his face. "I keep thinking I'm going to wake up and you'll be gone, like all the other dreams." "I'm not going anywhere, Mom. Never again." She smiled weakly. Then her face changed. A shadow crossed her features. "Derek." "Does Derek know I'm here?" Marcus's jaw tightened. "We need to talk about Derek. Is he okay? I know he was angry when he asked me to leave, but he's still my son. I've been worried about him." Marcus couldn't believe what he was hearing. "You've been worried about him, Mom? He threw you out on the street. He stole everything I sent you. He let you starve for 5 years. He was hurt. He felt abandoned. When you left, it broke something in him. That doesn't excuse what he did." "No, but it explains it." Eleanor closed her eyes for a moment. I failed him, Marcus. I talked about you too much. I waited for you too long. I made him feel invisible. You didn't make him do anything. He chose to steal. He chose to abandon you. Those were his decisions. And you chose to leave 30 years ago. We all make choices, some worse than others. The words hit Marcus like a physical blow. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm not saying it to hurt you. Eleanor squeezed his hand. I'm saying it because I understand. Derek was angry. He wanted someone to blame, and I was the easiest target. He needs to pay for what he did. No. Eleanor's voice was surprisingly firm. He needs help. There's a difference. Mom, promise me you won't destroy him. I can't promise that. Promise me. Eleanor's eyes locked onto his. He's your brother, my son. Whatever he did, whatever he took, he's still family. Promise me you'll find another way. Marcus wanted to argue. He wanted to tell her that Derek didn't deserve mercy, that some betrayals were too deep to forgive. But looking at his mother's face, at the hope and fear in her eyes, he couldn't say no. Fine, I promise. Thank you. Eleanor relaxed back against the pillows. Now tell me about your life. Tell me everything I missed in 30 years. So Marcus talked. He told her about the early years, the construction jobs, the nights sleeping in shelters, the hunger and the cold and the loneliness. He told her about Robert Chen, the man who gave him his first real opportunity. How Robert had seen something in him that no one else had seen. He told her about building his company from nothing, the 16-hour days, the risks that paid off, the failures that taught him, the successes that changed everything. He told her about the penthouse apartment with views of Central Park, the cars he rarely drove, the art collection he never looked at, the wealth that had somehow become meaningless. I had everything, Marcus said. Everything except the one thing that mattered. What's that? You. Eleanor smiled. I had nothing. Nothing except the one thing that kept me going. What? Hope. Hope that someday my son would find me. They sat in silence for a long moment, mother and son, together again after 3 decades. Then Eleanor's monitor started beeping rapidly. Mom? Mom, what's wrong? Eleanor's face contorted in pain. Her hand flew to her chest. I can't breathe. Marcus slammed the call button. Help! I need help in here. Nurses rushed in. Then doctors. They pushed Marcus aside, crowding around the bed. She's having another cardiac event. Get the crash cart. Marcus watched in horror as they worked on his mother, shouting orders, injecting medications, preparing the defibrillator. Clear. Eleanor's body jerked. The monitor flatlined. No pulse. Starting compressions. A doctor climbed onto the bed and began pumping Eleanor's chest. Come on, come on, come on. Marcus couldn't breathe. Couldn't move. Couldn't do anything except watch his mother die. 1 milligram epinephrine push. The compressions continued. 1 minute. 2 minutes. Clear? Another shock. The monitor beeped. Once, twice. Then a steady rhythm. We've got her back. She's stable. Marcus's legs gave out. He grabbed the wall to keep from falling. Mr. Thompson. A doctor approached him. She's alive, but this was a close call. Her heart is extremely weak. She may not survive another episode like this. What can you do? We're doing everything we can, but honestly, she needs a miracle. The doctors and nurses filed out. Marcus stumbled back to his mother's bedside. She was unconscious again, peaceful, unaware of how close she had come to death. He took her hand. Don't leave me, Mom. Please. I just found you. Don't leave me now. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. He almost ignored it. But something made him answer. Hello. Is this Marcus Thompson? A woman's voice, older, uncertain. Who is this? My name is Margaret Wilson. I used to be your mother's neighbor. In Boston. Before everything happened. Marcus straightened. What do you know about what happened? I saw it. 5 years ago. I saw Derek throw her out. I watched her walk away with nothing but a plastic bag. I wanted to help, but I was afraid. Derek threatened me. Told me if I said anything to anyone, he would make my life hell. Why are you calling now? Because I saw the news. Someone at the hospital leaked the story. Billionaire finds homeless mother. It's everywhere. And I thought you should know the truth. All of it. Tell me. Your brother didn't just steal money, Mr. Thompson. He tortured her first. For years. Before he kicked her out, he spent 2 years breaking her down. Telling her you didn't love her. Showing her fake emails he said were from you, saying you never wanted to see her again. He made her believe she was worthless. He made her believe nobody cared. Marcus felt sick. He showed her fake emails. He created an email account with your name, sent messages saying terrible things, that she was a burden, that you wished she had never been born, that you were ashamed of her. She would cry for hours after reading them. Oh God. There's more. When he finally kicked her out, he didn't just take the money and the house. He destroyed everything she had left. Family photos, your baby pictures, letters your father had written her. He burned it all, made her watch. Marcus was shaking with rage. Why would he do that? Because he wanted her to have nothing to hold on to. He wanted to erase you from her memory. He told her that if she ever tried to contact you, he would tell the world that she was crazy, that she was dangerous. He said he would have her committed. She believed him. She was 70 years old, alone, scared. Her own son had turned against her. What choice did she have? Marcus closed his eyes. The depth of Derek's cruelty was beyond anything he had imagined. Where is he now? Do you know? I heard he went to Mexico, somewhere on the coast. He used to brag about buying a house there when he had enough money. Thank you, Mrs. Wilson. Thank you for telling me this. I should have called sooner. I should have done something when it happened. But I was a coward. I hope someday your mother can forgive me. If she can forgive Derek, she can forgive anyone. He hung up. For a long moment, Marcus sat motionless, processing everything he had learned. Derek hadn't just stolen money. He had waged psychological warfare against their mother. He had systematically destroyed her belief that anyone loved her. He had broken her spirit before breaking her life. Marcus had promised not to destroy his brother, but he hadn't promised not to find him. He made a call. Michael, I need something from you. And I need it fast. What do you need? A private investigator, the best one money can buy. I need to find someone who doesn't want to be found. Can I ask who? My brother. He's in Mexico somewhere. I need his exact location within 72 hours. That's a tall order. I don't care. Whatever it costs. Whatever it takes. Understood. I'll have someone on it within the hour. Marcus hung up and looked at his mother. I'm going to find him, Mom. I'm going to bring him back, and he's going to look you in the eye and explain why he did this. Eleanor slept on, unaware. 2 days later, Marcus got the call. We found him. The investigator's voice was crisp and professional. Puerto Vallarta. He's renting a beachfront villa under a fake name. Living large, drinks margaritas by the pool every afternoon at 4 o'clock. How sure are you? 100%. We have photographs. He matches the description perfectly. Even has the same scar on his left hand that you mentioned. Marcus remembered that scar. Derek had gotten it when they were kids climbing a fence in their old neighborhood. Marcus had carried him home on his back, blood dripping everywhere. Brothers. They had been brothers once. Send me the address. Already done. But Mr. Thompson, I should warn you. He's not alone. He has a woman with him. Young? Looks like a girlfriend. And he's been spending money like water. Whatever he took from your mother, he's burning through it fast. Good. When it runs out, he'll have nothing left to hide behind. Marcus hung up. He looked at his mother. She was awake now, watching him. "You found Derek." It wasn't a question. "Yes." "What are you going to do?" "I'm going to bring him back." Eleanor shook her head slowly. "He won't come, not willingly." "Then I'll make him." "Marcus." Eleanor's voice was tired but firm. "Revenge won't fix anything. It won't give me back the years I lost. It won't heal my heart. It won't make you feel better." "It might." "It won't, trust me. I spent 5 years on the street, and you know what I learned? Anger is a poison. It eats you from the inside. The only antidote is forgiveness." "I can't forgive him, not for this." "Then do it for me. Because if you go after him with hatred in your heart, you'll become something you're not. You'll become someone I don't recognize. And I don't want to lose you again. Not like that." Marcus sat down heavily in the chair beside her bed. "How do you do it, Mom? How do you forgive someone who hurt you so badly?" "Because holding on to anger hurts me more than it hurts him. Because forgiveness isn't about letting someone off the hook. It's about setting yourself free. Because I spent 75 years learning that love is the only thing that matters, and I'm not going to throw that away now." "He doesn't deserve your love." "Maybe not, but I deserve peace. And I can't have peace if I'm carrying hatred around." Marcus was quiet for a long time. "What do you want me to do?" "Bring him back. Talk to him. Try to understand why. Not to excuse it, but to understand. And then let the law handle the rest. Don't become a monster to fight a monster. And if he won't come, then you did your best. And we move on. Together." Marcus looked at his mother, this woman who had every right to hate, but chose to love instead. This woman who had suffered more than anyone should suffer, but still believed in second chances. He didn't understand her, but he loved her. "Okay, Mom, I'll do it your way." "Thank you." Marcus stood up. "I'm going to Mexico, tonight. I'll be back as soon as I can." "Be careful. Derek is dangerous when he's cornered." "So am I." "That's what worries me." Marcus leaned down and kissed her forehead. "I love you, Mom." "I love you too. Now go bring your brother home." The flight to Puerto Vallarta took 5 hours. Marcus spent the entire time thinking about what he would say, what he would do, how he would confront the man who had destroyed their mother's life. He had promised not to destroy Derek. He had promised to try understanding. But sitting on that plane watching the clouds pass below Marcus wasn't sure he could keep those promises. The villa was exactly where the investigator said it would be. White walls, red tile roof, ocean views, a swimming pool that glittered in the afternoon sun. Marcus watched from a rental car parked across the street. At 4 o'clock exactly, Derek appeared. He looked good, tanned, relaxed, wearing expensive sunglasses and a linen shirt that probably cost $300. He settled into a lounge chair by the pool. A young woman brought him a drink. She kissed his cheek and walked back inside. Derek sipped his margarita and smiled. Marcus felt rage building in his chest. His brother was living in paradise while their mother had nearly died in a homeless shelter. He was drinking cocktails while she was fighting for every breath. Marcus got out of the car. He walked across the street, pushed through the gate, and stood at the edge of the pool. Derek looked up. For a moment his face showed nothing. Then recognition. Then fear. "Marcus." "Hello, Derek." Derek set down his drink. His hand was shaking. "How did you find me? Money can find anyone." "What do you want?" "I want you to come home." Derek laughed. It was a nervous, brittle sound. "Home? I don't have a home. I have exactly what I always wanted. Freedom, money, a life that doesn't revolve around waiting for you to save us." "Mom almost died. 3 days ago. Her heart stopped in the hospital. They had to shock her back to life." Something flickered in Derek's eyes. Pain, guilt. It disappeared as quickly as it came. "That's not my problem." "You made it your problem when you threw her on the street." "I set her free." She was wasting her life waiting for you. At least on the street she had no more illusions. Marcus took a step closer. A woman called me. Margaret Wilson. She told me everything. The fake emails, the psychological torture, the burning of her photographs. You didn't just steal from her, Derek. You tried to destroy her soul. Derek's face went pale. She talked to you. She told me everything. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She's a crazy old woman who— Stop lying! Marcus's voice echoed across the pool. For once in your miserable life, stop lying. You tortured our mother. You made her believe I hated her. You burned her memories. You threw her out like garbage. And then you came here to live like a king on stolen money. Derek stood up, his face twisted with decades of suppressed rage. I did what I had to do. You want to know why? Because I was sick of being invisible, sick of being the one who stayed, sick of watching her cry over you while I did everything right. I cooked her meals. I took her to doctors. I spent 20 years of my life taking care of her. And all she ever talked about was you, Marcus, the brilliant Marcus, the successful Marcus, who was going to come back and save us all. So you punished her for loving me. I punished her for not loving me enough, for making me feel like I was nothing, for making me believe that no matter what I did, I would never be good enough. She loved you, Derek. She defended you to me. Even after everything you did, she begged me not to hurt you. She said you were still her son. Derek froze. She said that? Yes. She forgave you. I don't understand how, but she did. She forgave me. She wants you to come home. She wants to understand why you did what you did. She wants to give you a chance to make things right. Derek's face crumpled. For a moment, he looked like the 10-year-old boy Marcus had left behind all those years ago. Small, scared, desperate for love. I can't go back. After what I did, she could never really forgive me. She's just saying that because she's sick. She's saying it because she's your mother, and a mother's love doesn't have conditions. You don't understand. I burned her pictures, Marcus. I burned everything she had of Dad. I told her you wished she was dead. I did things that can't be forgiven. Then let her decide that. Come home, face her, tell her the truth, and let her choose whether to forgive you or not. Derek was crying now, tears streaming down his tanned face, dripping onto his expensive shirt. I'm scared. Of what? Of seeing what I did to her, of seeing the damage, of looking in her eyes and knowing I caused all that pain. Marcus thought about his mother, lying in that hospital bed, skin and bones, heart barely beating. You should be scared, but running won't make it better. It'll only make it worse. Derek wiped his face. Will you be there when I talk to her? If you want me to. I do. I can't face her alone. Marcus nodded slowly. Then pack your bags. We're leaving tonight. Derek looked around at the villa, the pool, the ocean view, the life he had built on stolen money and broken promises. I threw everything away, he said quietly. Everything that mattered, for this. And it's not even real. No, it's not. Derek walked inside to pack. Marcus stood by the pool watching the sun set over the Pacific. He had found his brother. Now he had to bring him home. And he had no idea what would happen when mother and son finally faced each other again. The flight back to New York was silent. Derek sat in the window seat staring at nothing. Marcus sat beside him watching for any sign that his brother might try to run. But Derek didn't run. He just sat there, looking like a man walking to his own execution. When they landed, Marcus got a text from the hospital. It was from his mother's nurse. She's awake, asking for you. Heart rate stable for now, but hurry. Marcus showed the text to Derek. It's time. Derek's face went white. I'm not ready. You're never going to be ready. But she's waiting. They drove to the hospital in silence. At the door to Eleanor's room, Derek stopped. I can't do this. Yes, you can. She's going to hate me. She doesn't hate you. That's what makes this so hard. Marcus pushed open the door. Eleanor was sitting up in bed looking stronger than she had in days. When she saw her sons walk in together, her hand flew to her mouth. Derek! Derek stood frozen in the doorway. His whole body was trembling. Hi, Mom. Eleanor started crying. My boy, my baby boy, you came back. Derek broke. He crossed the room and fell to his knees beside her bed, sobbing like a child. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Eleanor reached out and pulled him close. I know, baby. I know. Marcus watched his mother hold the son who had betrayed her, who had stolen from her, who had tried to destroy her. And he understood. Forgiveness wasn't about the person who hurt you. It was about setting yourself free. Eleanor looked up at Marcus over Derek's shaking shoulders. Thank you, she mouthed. Marcus nodded. His family was broken. But for the first time in 30 years, they were together. And maybe that was enough to start rebuilding. Derek couldn't stop crying. He knelt beside his mother's hospital bed, his face buried in her blankets, his shoulders shaking with sobs that seemed to come from somewhere deep and broken inside him. Eleanor held him, her frail arms wrapped around her youngest son, her fingers stroking his hair, the way she had done when he was a child, waking from nightmares. I'm sorry, Derek kept saying. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Shh, Eleanor whispered. I know, baby. I know. Marcus stood by the door watching. Part of him wanted to pull Derek away. Part of him wanted to scream that sorry wasn't enough, that years of cruelty couldn't be erased by tears. But another part of him saw his mother's face, the peace there, the relief. She had both her sons back. For her, that was everything. After 10 minutes, Derek's sobs finally quieted. He lifted his head, his face swollen and red. Why don't you hate me? Eleanor touched his cheek. I tried. When you threw me out, I tried so hard to hate you. I thought it would make the pain easier. But I couldn't do it. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw you as a baby, as a little boy, as my son. I don't deserve that. I don't deserve you. Maybe not. But love isn't about deserving. It's about choosing. And I choose to love you. Both of you. No matter what. Derek broke down again. Marcus's phone buzzed. A text from his lawyer. The investigator found more. Call me urgently. Marcus stepped out of the room and dialed. Michael, what is it? We dug deeper into Derek's finances. The money he stole from your mother wasn't just spent on luxury. He lost most of it. Lost it how? Gambling. Online casinos, sports betting, poker games. Over the last 5 years, he's lost nearly $2 million. The house in Mexico was rented, not owned. He was almost broke when you found him. Marcus closed his eyes. So everything he took from her, it's gone. Almost all of it. There's maybe $50,000 left in various accounts. We can recover that, but the rest is gone forever. Thank you, Michael. Marcus hung up. He stood in the hospital hallway processing this new information. Derek hadn't just been greedy. He had been sick, addicted, destroying himself while destroying their mother. It didn't excuse anything, but it explained more than Marcus wanted to admit. He walked back into the room. Eleanor looked up. What's wrong? Marcus hesitated. Then he told them. All of it. The gambling, the losses, the fact that Derek was nearly broke. Derek's face went pale. How did you find out? I had someone investigate your finances. I needed to know what we were dealing with. So now you know. Derek's voice was hollow. I didn't just steal from her. I threw it all away, every cent, on cards and dice and stupid bets I always lost. I told myself I was going to win big, pay her back, make everything right, but I kept losing, and the more I lost, the more I bet, until there was nothing left. Eleanor reached for his hand. Why didn't you tell me? Because I was ashamed. Because I couldn't admit what I had become. It was easier to blame Marcus, easier to be angry at him than to face my own failures. "You have a sickness," Eleanor said gently. "Gambling is a sickness, like alcoholism, like drug addiction. That doesn't make it okay." "No, but it means you need help, not punishment." Marcus shook his head. "Mom, he stole from you. He left you homeless. He can't just walk away from that." "I'm not saying he should walk away. I'm saying he needs treatment. Real help, not prison. What good would prison do? Would it give me back my house? Would it give me back those 5 years on the street? It would give you justice." "Justice?" Eleanor laughed bitterly. "You want to know what justice looks like to me? Justice is having my sons in the same room without trying to kill each other. Justice is knowing that Derek is going to get help. Justice is being able to die knowing my family isn't destroyed." "Die," Marcus's voice cracked. "Mom, don't talk like that." "I'm 75 years old with a failing heart. We both know I don't have much time left. Let me spend what time I have making peace, not war." The room fell silent. Derek wiped his face. "I'll get help. I'll go to rehab. Gamblers Anonymous. Whatever it takes. I'll pay back every cent I can." "How?" Marcus demanded. "You have nothing." "Then I'll work. I'll get a job. A real job. And I'll spend the rest of my life paying her back. Not just the money. Everything." Eleanor smiled. "That's all I want. A chance to be a family again." 2 hours later, a doctor came in with test results. His face told them everything before he spoke. "Mrs. Thompson, I'm afraid the news isn't good. Your heart is failing faster than we anticipated. The damage from years of untreated conditions is severe. We've done everything we can medically, but—" "How long?" Eleanor asked calmly. "Weeks. Maybe a month if we're lucky." Marcus felt the ground disappear beneath him. "There has to be something else, a transplant, an experimental treatment. Money isn't an issue." "I wish there was, Mr. Thompson, but at her age with her overall condition, she's not a candidate for transplant. The best we can do is keep her comfortable." "Comfortable?" Marcus's voice rose. "You're telling me my mother is dying, and all you can do is keep her comfortable?" "Marcus!" Eleanor's voice cut through his anger. "Stop." "Mom!" "I said stop. Come here." Marcus walked to her bedside. His legs felt like they were made of water. Eleanor took his hand. "I'm not afraid to die. I've lived a long life. I've made mistakes. I've had regrets. But I've also known love. Real love. The kind that survives betrayal and abandonment, and 30 years of silence. I can't lose you. Not now. Not when I just found you." "You're not losing me. You're letting me go. There's a difference." Derek moved to her other side. "Mom, please. There has to be something." "There is something. Something you can both do for me." "Anything," Marcus said. "Build something. Together. Something that helps people like me. Old people who have been abandoned, thrown away, forgotten. I spent 5 years on the streets, and you know what I learned? There are thousands of us, tens of thousands. People who have nowhere to go, no one to care. Build something for them. In my name. That's what I want." Marcus looked at Derek. Derek looked back. For the first time in 30 years, they understood each other. "We'll do it," Marcus said. "I promise." "Together," Derek added. "We'll do it together." Eleanor smiled. "That's all I ever wanted. My boys, working together, taking care of people who need it." She closed her eyes. "Now let me rest. I'm tired, so tired." The brothers sat in silence as their mother slept. After an hour, Derek spoke. "I never meant for it to go this far. When I first took the money, I told myself it was just a loan. I would pay it back. She would never even know. But then I lost it, and I panicked, and the lies got bigger and bigger until I couldn't find my way out." Why didn't you call me? I would have helped. Derek laughed bitterly. Called you the big successful brother who sent checks instead of visits. You want to know why I hated you, Marcus? Because you had everything, the talent, the drive, the luck, and I had nothing. I was just the kid who stayed behind, the one who wasn't good enough to escape. I never thought you weren't good enough. Maybe not, but you never thought about me at all. That was worse. Marcus had no answer for that. You're right, he finally said. I was so focused on building my life that I forgot I had a family. I told myself the money was enough, that I was taking care of you both. But I was just avoiding the hard part, the showing up, the being there. We both failed her. Yes, we did. So how do we make it right? Marcus looked at his mother. We do what she asked. We build something, not for us, for her, for people like her. I don't know anything about charity work. Neither do I, but I know how to build things, and you know how to work hard when you have something to work for. Derek was quiet for a moment. You'd really work with me after everything I did. She asked me to. That's enough. I don't know if I can be around you every day. Too much history, too much anger. Then we'll work through it, day by day. That's what she would want. Derek extended his hand. Partners. Marcus looked at the hand, remembered all the times that hand had reached for his when they were children. Before the distance, before the betrayal, before everything fell apart. He took it. Partners. 3 days later, Marcus called a meeting. He rented a conference room in a downtown hotel and invited a team of experts, lawyers, architects, social workers, financial advisors. Derek sat beside him, nervous and out of place. I want to build a shelter, Marcus told them. Not just any shelter. A home. For elderly people who have been abandoned by their families. A place where they can live with dignity, where they can be cared for, where they can know that someone gives a damn about them. How big are we talking? One of the architects asked. As big as it needs to be. Start with 50 beds, room to expand to 200. That's a significant undertaking. You're looking at tens of millions of dollars. I have tens of millions of dollars. I also have the one thing that matters more than money. What's that? A reason to do this. The team got to work. Within a week, they had identified a building in Brooklyn, an old warehouse that could be converted, close to hospitals, close to public transportation, in the same neighborhood where Marcus and Derek had grown up. Eleanor watched the progress from her hospital bed. Marcus brought her plans, photographs, updates on every decision. You're building it in our old neighborhood, she asked one evening. I thought it was appropriate. We came from nothing there. Now we can give something back. Have you picked a name? I was thinking Eleanor's house. Eleanor's eyes filled with tears. That's too much. Name it after your father instead. No, Mom. This is for you, because of you. It carries your name. She didn't argue. She just held the plans against her chest and cried. 1 week later, Eleanor's heart stopped. It happened at 3:47 in the morning. Marcus was asleep in the chair beside her bed. Derek was on a cot in the corner. Neither of them knew anything was wrong until the monitor started screaming. Doctors rushed in. They tried everything. Compressions, shocks, medications. But this time her heart wouldn't restart. At 4:23 a.m., Eleanor Thompson was pronounced dead. Marcus stood by her bedside holding her hand. It was still warm. She looked peaceful, like she was sleeping. But she wasn't sleeping. She was gone. Derek was on his knees, sobbing. No, 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 not yet. She wasn't supposed to go yet. We were supposed to have more time. Marcus couldn't speak, couldn't move, couldn't do anything except stare at his mother's face. This was the face that had sung him to sleep, the face that had cheered at his little league games, the face that had believed in him when nobody else did. And now, it was empty. A nurse touched his shoulder. "Mr. Thompson, I'm so sorry. Take as much time as you need." Marcus didn't know how long he stood there. Minutes. Hours. It felt like both and neither. Finally, he leaned down and kissed his mother's forehead. "Thank you, Mom. For everything. For the love. For the forgiveness. For teaching me what really matters. I'm going to miss you every day for the rest of my life. But I promise you, I'm going to build that place. I'm going to help those people. I'm going to make you proud." He straightened up and looked at Derek. His brother was still on the floor. Broken. Destroyed. Marcus reached down and pulled him up. "She's gone," Derek whispered. "She's really gone. I know. I never got to make it up to her. I never got to show her I could change." "Yes, you did. You came back. You apologized. You held her hand. She died knowing her sons were together. That was enough for her." "It wasn't enough for me." "Then make it enough. Honor her memory. Keep your promises. Be the son she always believed you could be." Derek wiped his face. How do I do that without her?" "You do it by building Eleanor's house. You do it by helping people like her. You do it by getting help for your addiction. You do it one day at a time, one step at a time, until the guilt becomes gratitude and the pain becomes purpose." Derek looked at him. "You really think I can do that?" "I think Mom believed you could. And if she believed it, I'm willing to believe it too." The funeral was held 4 days later. It was small. Eleanor had outlived most of her friends. But the people who came were the ones who mattered. Father Williams, from St. Mary's Shelter. Margaret Wilson, the neighbor who had finally told the truth. A few elderly people from the shelter who remembered Eleanor's kindness, even when she had nothing to give. Marcus gave the eulogy. "My mother spent the last 5 years of her life homeless. She slept in subway stations. She ate from garbage cans. She begged for coins on street corners. And through all of that, she never stopped believing, never stopped hoping, never stopped loving. She could have become bitter. She could have given up. She could have let the world's cruelty turn her heart to stone. But she didn't. She kept her faith in God, in humanity, in her sons who had failed her. I don't know if I could have done what she did. I don't know if I have that kind of strength. But I know this. I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying to honor her memory. I'm going to build a place where people like her can find shelter, where they can find dignity, where they can find love. And I'm going to do it with my brother, together, because that's what she wanted. That's what she died believing. Mom, if you can hear me, I want you to know I'm sorry for leaving. I'm sorry for not coming back. I'm sorry for thinking money was enough. But I'm grateful too. Grateful that I found you. Grateful that you forgave me. Grateful that you taught me in the end what really matters. Rest now. You've earned it. And don't worry about us. We're going to be okay. We're going to make you proud." After the funeral, Marcus and Derek stood at their mother's grave. The sky was gray. Rain was threatening. "What now?" Derek asked. "Now we build." "When do we start?" "Tomorrow. First thing." Derek nodded. "I'm scared, Marcus. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can be around all that money without, you know." "Then we get you into treatment today, right now, before anything else." "What about the building, the plans?" "They can wait a day. You can't. Mom was right. You need help. Real help. Let me give you that." Derek's eyes filled with tears. "Why are you being so good to me after everything I did?" "Because she asked me to. Because you're my brother. Because I need to believe that people can change. If you can change, maybe I can too." "Change into what?" "Into the man she always believed I was. The son who shows up. The brother who stays. The person who puts family first." Derek was silent for a long moment. "Okay," he finally said. I'll go to treatment. I'll get help. But promise me something. What? Promise me you won't give up on me. Even when I screw up. Even when I fall back. Even when I'm the worst version of myself. Promise me you'll keep fighting for me. The way she did. Marcus put his hand on his brother's shoulder. I promise. They stood there together as the first drops of rain began to fall. Mother and sons finally at peace, one in the ground, two above it, but all three connected by something stronger than death. Love. The one thing that survived everything. The one thing that always would. Marcus took one last look at his mother's headstone. Eleanor Thompson, 1949. 4. Beloved mother. She never stopped believing. Then he turned and walked away. There was work to do, promises to keep, a legacy to build. And for the first time in 30 years, Marcus Thompson wasn't walking alone. 6 weeks after the funeral, Derek walked out of the rehabilitation center. Marcus was waiting in the parking lot. He stood beside his car watching his brother emerge from the building that had been his home for 42 days. Derek looked different, thinner, older, but his eyes were clear for the first time in years. How do you feel? Marcus asked. Terrified, but sober. That's a start. They drove in silence for 20 minutes. Derek stared out the window watching the city pass by. Finally he spoke. I want to see her grave. Marcus changed direction without a word. They stood together in front of Eleanor's headstone. Fresh flowers had been placed there recently. Marcus had paid someone to maintain it. Derek knelt down and touched the stone. I'm out, Mom. 42 days clean. They say the first year is the hardest, but I'm going to make it. I have to. For you. Marcus stood behind him, giving him space. I talked about you every day in group therapy, Derek continued. About what I did to you, how I stole everything, how I left you on the street. Everyone said I was a monster, and they were right. But my counselor said something that stuck with me. She said monsters aren't born. They're made, one bad decision at a time, one lie at a time, one betrayal at a time, until you wake up one day and don't recognize yourself anymore. He wiped his eyes. I don't want to be a monster anymore, Mom. I want to be the son you always believed I could be. I know I can't make up for what I did, but I can try to make something good come out of it, starting today. Derek stood up and looked at Marcus. I'm ready. Show me the building. The warehouse in Brooklyn had been transformed. Where there had been empty space and broken windows, there were now walls and rooms and hope. Construction workers swarmed over the site like ants following plans that Marcus had obsessed over for weeks. Derek stood at the entrance overwhelmed. This is really happening. We break ground on the residential wing next week. 50 beds. Expansion to 200 within 3 years. How much have you spent so far? About 12 million. We'll need another 20 to finish. Derek's face fell. I can never pay back that kind of money. I'm not asking you to pay it back. I'm asking you to earn it. How? By running this place. Day-to-day operations. Staff management. Resident relations. I'll handle the money. You handle the people. You want me to run Eleanor's house? Who better? You know what it's like to hit bottom. You know what it takes to climb back up. And you know exactly what Mom would have wanted. Derek was quiet for a long moment. I don't deserve this opportunity. Probably not. But Mom believed in second chances. So do I. Don't make me regret it. I won't. I swear to you I won't. They shook hands. For the first time, it felt like they were truly brothers again. 3 months later, Eleanor's house opened its doors. The first resident was a 72-year-old man named Walter. His children had put him in a nursing home and never visited. When the nursing home closed due to funding problems, they refused to take him back. Derek personally welcomed him. Mr. Walter, my name is Derek Thompson. Welcome to Eleanor's house. Is this a shelter? I don't want to be in a shelter. I had a home once. A real home. This is a home, sir. Your home. For as long as you need it. Walter looked around suspiciously. What's the catch? Places like this always have a catch. No catch. Just a promise. My mother spent 5 years homeless. She died believing that no one should have to go through what she went through. This place exists because of her. Because of what she taught me about love and forgiveness and second chances. Walter's eyes softened. Your mother sounds like a remarkable woman. She was. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying to honor her memory. Walter moved in that afternoon. He was the first of many. Within a month, all 50 beds were full. There was a waiting list of over 200 people. Marcus called an emergency meeting. We need to expand faster. The demand is overwhelming. We don't have the space, Derek argued. Or the staff. Then we get more space and more staff. I'm not turning people away, not when they need help. Marcus, we're already stretched thin. I have 3 caregivers for 50 residents. Half of them have medical needs we're not equipped to handle. If we grow too fast, we'll collapse. And if we don't grow, people will die on the streets, like Mom almost did, like she would have if Father Williams hadn't called me. The room went silent. Derek took a deep breath. You're right, but we need to be smart about this. Controlled growth, not chaos. Then figure it out. That's your job. Fine, give me 2 weeks. I'll have a plan. Derek worked 20-hour days for the next 14 days. He interviewed candidates. He negotiated with suppliers. He reached out to medical schools for volunteer doctors. He called churches and community centers for additional support. By the end of 2 weeks, he had a plan. Double the staff. Partner with local hospitals for medical care. Convert the empty lot next door into a second building. He presented it to Marcus. This will work. It's aggressive, but sustainable. Marcus studied the numbers. You did this yourself. I had help. But yeah, mostly me. I'm impressed. Don't be impressed yet. Be impressed when we actually pull it off. Marcus smiled. It was the first real smile Derek had seen from his brother in months. Let's pull it off. The expansion began immediately. But not everyone was happy about Eleanor's house. 4 months after opening, Marcus received a letter from a law firm representing the neighborhood association. What is this? He demanded, reading the letter in his office. His lawyer, Michael, looked grim. They're suing to shut us down, claiming the shelter decreases property values and attracts crime. That's ridiculous. We haven't had a single incident. They don't care about facts. They care about perception. Rich people in Brooklyn don't want a homeless shelter in their backyard. My mother was homeless. She could have died on their precious streets. And now they want to shut down the only place that helps people like her. I know it's unfair, but the lawsuit is real. If we don't fight it, they could get an injunction, force us to close. Marcus felt rage building in his chest. How much will it cost to fight? Lawyers, court fees, expert witnesses. We're looking at $500,000, maybe more. I don't care. Pay it. Fight this with everything we have. Marcus, that money could help a lot of people directly. Are you sure you want to spend it on lawyers? I'm sure, because if we let them win, we lose everything. Not just this building, the message, the hope, everything Mom believed in. The legal battle began. It was ugly. The neighborhood association hired a PR firm to spread stories about Eleanor's house. Claims of drug use, claims of violence, claims that were complete lies. Reporters showed up asking questions. Cameras filmed the residents. Headlines called the shelter a danger to families. Derek wanted to fight back. Let me talk to them. Let me show them who really lives here. That's exactly what they want. A confrontation, something they can spin. Then what do we do? Sit here and let them destroy everything we've built. Marcus thought about it. Then he had an idea. We don't fight them. We invite them. What? Open house, next Saturday. We invite everyone in the neighborhood. The reporters, the association members, everyone. We show them exactly what Eleanor's house is. No spin, no PR, just the truth. Derek was skeptical, and if they still hate us, then at least they'll hate us for who we really are, not who they imagine us to be. The open house was held on a Saturday afternoon. Marcus expected maybe 20 people. Over 200 showed up. They toured the facility, they met the residents, they heard stories of abandonment and survival and hope. Walter, the first resident, spoke to a group of curious neighbors. Before I came here, I was sleeping in my car. My own children threw me away like garbage. I thought I would die alone. But then I found this place. And the people here? They treated me like family. Real family, not the kind that throws you out when you get old. A woman in the crowd started crying. My father is in a similar situation, she said. His nursing home closed and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know places like this existed. Derek stepped forward. That's why we're here. Because too many people don't know. Too many elderly people fall through the cracks. And too many families don't know where to turn when things get hard. But don't the residents have families? Someone asked. Why don't they take care of them? Some families can't, some families won't, and some families made mistakes they're trying to fix. This place isn't about judging anyone. It's about providing a safety net, a place to land when everything else has failed. By the end of the open house, 20 people had signed up to volunteer. 15 had made donations, and 3 members of the neighborhood association had withdrawn their support for the lawsuit. The tide was turning, but the battle wasn't over. The lawsuit continued for 6 more months. It drained resources. It distracted from the mission. It tested every ounce of patience Marcus and Derek had. Finally, they got their day in court. Marcus testified. My mother spent 5 years homeless because of my mistakes, because I trusted the wrong person, because I sent money instead of love. When I found her, she was begging for coins outside my limousine. She didn't even recognize me through the tinted glass. That's when I realized that all the money in the world means nothing if you're not there for the people who need you. The judge listened intently. I didn't build Eleanor's house to decrease property values. I built it because every person deserves dignity. Every person deserves a roof over their head. Every person deserves to know that someone cares whether they live or die. My mother believed that. She died believing that. And I will not let her memory be destroyed by people who care more about their investment portfolios than human beings. Derek testified too. I was the one who threw my mother out. I stole her money. I left her on the streets. I am the monster in this story. But my mother forgave me. She believed I could change. And I'm trying every day to prove her right. Eleanor's house isn't just a shelter. It's my redemption. It's my way of making amends for the unforgivable things I did. Don't take that away. Not from me. Not from the people we're helping. Please. The courtroom was silent. The judge took 3 weeks to make her decision. When the verdict came, Marcus was in his office. Derek was at the shelter. They got the call at the same time. We won. Marcus fell into his chair. We won. Complete dismissal. The judge called the lawsuit baseless and motivated by prejudice rather than legitimate concerns. She also ordered the neighborhood association to pay our legal fees. Derek burst into tears on the phone. We did it, Marcus. We actually did it. No, Mom did it. She's still fighting for us, even now. That night, Marcus visited Eleanor's grave. We won, Mom. The shelter is safe. We're going to help thousands of people because of you, because of what you taught us, because you never gave up on your sons even when we gave up on ourselves. He sat in the grass beside her headstone. I miss you every day. I keep expecting my phone to ring and hear your voice. Keep expecting you to walk through the door and tell me everything is going to be okay, but you're not coming back. I know that now, and I'm learning to live with it. But I need you to know something. Marcus's voice broke. I'm different now. Better. The man I was before, the one who cared more about deals than family, he's gone. You killed him when you forgave me, when you showed me what love really means. I can never repay you for that, but I can keep trying, every day, for the rest of my life. He placed a fresh flower on the grave. I love you, Mom. Always. 1 year after opening, Eleanor's house celebrated its anniversary. Over 300 people had been helped. 50 were currently in residence. The second building was completed and fully staffed. Marcus threw a party for residents and staff. Derek gave the opening speech. 1 year ago, I walked out of rehab with nothing. No money, no reputation, no hope. Just a brother who believed in me and a promise I made to my mother. Today, I stand before you as the director of Eleanor's house. I've been sober for 14 months. I've helped people I never thought I'd care about. And I've learned something that changed my life. He paused, looking at the faces watching him. I learned that redemption isn't a destination. It's a journey. Every day I have to choose to be better. Every day I have to fight the urges that destroyed my life. And every day I have to remember why I'm doing this. Not for glory, not for forgiveness, but because my mother believed that everyone deserves a second chance, including me. The crowd applauded. Marcus stood in the back watching his brother. This broken man who had caused so much pain. This addict who had stolen and lied and betrayed. He was becoming someone new. Maybe people really could change. After the party, the brothers sat in Derek's office. 1 year, Derek said. I can't believe it's been a year. I can't believe you haven't screwed up yet. Derek laughed. It was a real laugh, not the bitter sound Marcus remembered. There were close calls, moments when I wanted to throw everything away. But every time I would think about Mom, about what she would say, and I would keep going. She would be proud of you. You think so? I know so. Derek was quiet for a moment. I had a dream about her last night. She was standing in the garden of this place we never built, a huge garden with flowers everywhere, and she was smiling, just smiling at me. She didn't say anything, but I knew. I knew she was okay. I knew she had forgiven me, really forgiven me. Marcus felt tears in his eyes. Maybe she's still watching, still fighting for us. Maybe, or maybe I'm just crazy. Either way, keep dreaming about her. Keep letting her guide you. Derek nodded. I will, I promise. They sat in comfortable silence. Two brothers who had hated each other. Two sons who had failed their mother. Two men who were learning day by day how to be family again. The phone rang. Derek answered. His face changed immediately. What, when, how bad? Marcus straightened. What's wrong? Derek hung up. His face was pale. There's been a fire. At the second building. 3 residents are trapped inside. Marcus was already running. Marcus ran faster than he had ever run in his life. The second building was 4 blocks away. He could already see the smoke rising against the night sky. He could already hear the sirens in the distance. Derek was right behind him. Who's trapped? Marcus shouted. Walter, Margaret, and a new resident, Thomas. They're on the 3rd floor. The stairwell is blocked. Marcus's heart stopped. Walter, the first resident. The man who had trusted them when no one else would. They reached the building. Flames were shooting from the windows on the 2nd floor. Firefighters were arriving, but they weren't fast enough. They would never be fast enough. Where's the ladder? Marcus screamed at the fire captain. It's coming. 2 minutes out. Those people don't have 2 minutes. Derek grabbed Marcus's arm. I'm going in. Are you insane? You'll die in there. Maybe. But I can't stand here and watch them burn. Not after everything. Not after Mom. Before Marcus could stop him, Derek ran into the building. Derek! No! Marcus tried to follow, but 2 firefighters held him back. Sir, you can't go in there. The structure is unstable. My brother is in there. Let me go. We'll get him out. But if you go in, We'll have 4 bodies instead of 3. Marcus struggled against them. Watched the flames climb higher. Watched the smoke pour from every window. 30 seconds passed. Then a minute. Derek didn't come out. Where is he? Where is he? The firefighters wouldn't answer. 2 minutes. 3 minutes. Marcus stopped struggling. His legs gave out. He fell to his knees on the sidewalk, staring at the burning building that had swallowed his brother. "Please," he whispered. "Please, God. Don't take him too. Not like this. Not when he was finally becoming the man Mom believed he could be." 4 minutes. A figure appeared in the doorway. Derek. He was carrying someone over his shoulder. His clothes were smoking. His face was black with soot. Behind him came Walter, supported by Margaret. All 3 of them coughing, stumbling, but alive. Derek collapsed the moment he cleared the door. Paramedics rushed forward. They surrounded the survivors, checking vitals, administering oxygen. Marcus pushed through the crowd and fell to his knees beside his brother. "Derek, Derek, can you hear me?" Derek's eyes opened. He tried to smile, but it turned into a cough. "Got them out," he managed. "All 3. "You're an idiot. You could have died." "Didn't, though." Derek coughed again. "Mom wouldn't let me. I could feel her. In there, guiding me through the smoke, showing me where to go." Marcus didn't know if he believed in ghosts, but in that moment he believed in something. "Don't ever do that again." "Can't promise that. Some things are worth dying for." The paramedics loaded Derek into an ambulance. Marcus climbed in beside him. "The residents," Derek said. "Are they okay?" "They're alive because of you." "And the building?" Marcus looked out the ambulance window. The second building was engulfed now. Everything they had built, everything they had worked for, gone. "We'll rebuild," Marcus said. "Buildings can be replaced. People can't." Derek closed his eyes. "Mom would be proud of me, right?" "She'd be terrified. But yes, she'd be proud." Derek smiled. Then he passed out. The hospital kept Derek for 3 days. Smoke inhalation, minor burns on his hands and arms, a gash on his forehead that required 12 stitches. But he was alive. Walter came to visit on the 2nd day. "You saved my life," the old man said, standing at the foot of Derek's bed. "I was ready to give up. The smoke was so thick I couldn't see. I couldn't breathe. I thought, this is it. This is how I die, alone in a burning building." "You're not alone," Derek said. "You never were. When you came through that door, I thought you were an angel. I really did. I thought God had sent someone to carry me out of hell. I'm no angel, Walter, trust me. Maybe not, but you're the closest thing I've ever seen to one." Walter took Derek's hand. "I'm going to spend whatever time I have left telling people about you, about this place, about what your mother believed in. The world needs to know that goodness still exists, that people still sacrifice for strangers, that love is still stronger than fear." Derek didn't know what to say, so he just held Walter's hand and let the old man cry. The investigation revealed the cause of the fire. Arson. Someone had deliberately set it, poured gasoline around the back entrance, and lit a match. Marcus was in the detective's office when he heard the news. "Do you know who did it?" he demanded. "We have a suspect. Security cameras caught someone fleeing the scene. We're running facial recognition now." "Who would do this? Who would try to murder innocent old people?" The detective hesitated. "Mr. Thompson, we believe this may be connected to the lawsuit from last year, the neighborhood association. Some of their members were very unhappy when the court ruled against them." "You're saying someone tried to burn down my building because they didn't want a homeless shelter in their neighborhood?" "We're saying it's a possibility we're investigating." Marcus felt rage unlike anything he had ever experienced. "Find them. Find whoever did this, and put them away for the rest of their lives." "We're doing everything we can, sir." 3 days later, the police made an arrest. The arsonist was a 53-year-old real estate developer named Richard Hayes. He had bought several properties in the neighborhood, betting that Eleanor's house would be shut down. When the lawsuit failed, his investments lost half their value. So he decided to solve the problem himself. Marcus went to the arraignment. He sat in the courtroom and watched as Richard Hayes was led in wearing handcuffs. The man looked ordinary, soft, like someone you might see at a country club or a charity dinner. He didn't look like a murderer, but he had tried to kill 3 people, would have killed them if Derek hadn't risked his own life. The judge read the charges. Arson, 3 counts of attempted murder, felony property destruction. Hayes's lawyer tried to get bail. Your Honor, my client is a respected businessman with deep ties to the community. He poses no flight risk. Marcus stood up. Your Honor, may I speak? The judge looked surprised. This is highly irregular, Mr. Thompson. I know, but those were my residents he tried to kill. My brother nearly died saving them. I think I've earned the right to say something. The judge considered it, then nodded. Marcus walked to the front of the courtroom. Richard Hayes tried to murder 3 elderly people because they were inconvenient, because they lived in a shelter that lowered his property values, because he cared more about money than human life. He turned to face Hayes directly. My mother spent 5 years homeless. She begged for coins on the same streets where you bought and sold buildings. She slept in subway stations while you slept in penthouses. She died believing that everyone deserves dignity. Everyone deserves a second chance. Marcus's voice hardened. But some people don't deserve second chances. Some people are so consumed by greed that they've lost their humanity. You looked at those old people and saw obstacles to your profit margins. Not fathers, not mothers, not human beings, just problems to be eliminated. He stepped closer to Hayes. I hope they put you away for the rest of your life. And I hope every night in that cell you think about Walter, about Margaret, about Thomas, about the people you tried to burn alive because they had the audacity to exist in your neighborhood. Marcus turned back to the judge. Don't give him bail. Don't give him mercy. Give him exactly what he gave those residents. Nothing. Hayes was held without bail. The trial would come later. But for now, justice had begun. The fire destroyed the second building completely. Marcus stood in the ashes a week later, surveying the damage. Derek stood beside him. We'll rebuild, Marcus said. Bigger, better, fireproof. With what money insurance will cover the building, but we were already stretched thin. I'll find more money, investors, donors, whatever it takes. And if you can't, Marcus looked at his brother, then I'll sell everything I own, the penthouse, the cars, the art collection, all of it. Because this matters more than any of that. You'd give up everything. Mom gave up everything for us. It's the least I can do. The next day, Marcus called a press conference. Reporters from every major outlet showed up. The story of the fire of Derek's heroism of the arsonist's arrest had made national news. Marcus stood at a podium in front of the burned-out building. 2 weeks ago, someone tried to destroy Eleanor's house. They tried to murder 3 innocent people because they didn't want a homeless shelter in their neighborhood. My brother nearly died saving them. He paused, looking at the cameras. But they failed. They failed because love is stronger than hate, because courage is stronger than fear, because the values my mother taught us can't be burned away. Today, I'm announcing the Eleanor's House Expansion Initiative. We're going to rebuild, not just this building, but 10 more like it, in cities across America, New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Miami. Wherever elderly people are being abandoned, we will be there. Reporters started shouting questions. Where will the funding come from? I'm starting with $50 million of my own money, and I'm asking anyone who believes in this cause to join us. No donation is too small, no contribution is too little. Every dollar helps save a life. Is it true you walked away from $1 billion deal to help your mother? Marcus nodded. The best decision I ever made. That deal would have made me rich. but building Eleanor's house made me human again. What would your mother say if she could see all this? Marcus felt tears in his eyes. She'd say I finally got it right. The press conference made national news. Within a week, donations started pouring in, small amounts from ordinary people, large amounts from corporations. Celebrities shared the story on social media. Politicians called to offer support. In 1 month, the Eleanor's House Foundation raised over $100 million. Marcus was overwhelmed. I don't understand, he told Derek. I expected maybe a few thousand, not this. People are hungry for hope, Derek said. They're tired of stories about greed and corruption and selfishness. They want to believe that good things can come from bad situations, that broken people can be redeemed, that love can survive anything. Mom's story gave them that. Our story, all of us, the abandoned mother, the absent son, the betraying brother, the redemption, the fire, the heroism. It's not just a story about a shelter, it's a story about what it means to be human. Marcus thought about that. I never wanted to be famous. You're not famous. You're something better. You're an example. 5 years passed. Eleanor's house expanded to 15 locations across the country. Over 10,000 elderly people had found shelter within its walls. Hundreds had reconnected with estranged families. Dozens had been reunited with children they thought they had lost forever. Derek had been sober for 6 years. He married a woman named Sarah, who worked as a counselor at the New York location. They had a daughter. They named her Eleanor. Marcus stepped back from day-to-day operations. He served as chairman of the board, raising money and spreading awareness. But the real work was done by the people on the ground. The caregivers, the volunteers, the residents themselves. On the 5th anniversary of Eleanor's house, Marcus and Derek held a celebration at the original location in Brooklyn. Hundreds of people attended. Current residents, former residents, staff members, donors, reporters. Walter was there, now 80 years old but still sharp, still smiling. Can you believe it? He said to Marcus. 5 years, and it all started with your mother begging on the street. It started before that, Marcus said. It started with her love, her forgiveness, her refusal to give up on her sons even when we had given up on ourselves. She sounds like a saint. She was better than a saint. She was a mother, a real mother, the kind that loves you even when you don't deserve it. Derek gave the keynote speech. 10 years ago, I was a monster. I stole from my own mother. I left her homeless. I destroyed her life because I was jealous of my brother. I am not proud of who I was, but I am grateful for who I've become. He looked at the crowd. My mother taught me that redemption is possible, that no matter how far you fall, you can always climb back up, that the past doesn't define you unless you let it. She believed in me when I didn't believe in myself, and because of her faith, I'm standing here today. He paused. Eleanor's house isn't just a shelter. It's proof that love is stronger than hate, that forgiveness is stronger than anger, that hope is stronger than despair. Every person in this room is part of that proof. Every life we've touched is a testament to what my mother believed. His voice broke. Mom, I know you're watching. I know you're proud. And I want you to know that I finally understand. Love costs nothing, but it changes everything. You taught me that. And I will never forget. The crowd rose to their feet. Applause thundered through the room. Marcus watched his brother accept the ovation. This man who had caused so much pain. This addict who had destroyed his own family. This broken human being who had somehow found his way back. If Derek could change, anyone could. That was the real legacy of Eleanor's house. Not the buildings, not the money, not the fame. The proof that redemption was possible. That love could survive anything. That family wasn't about blood. It was about showing up, again and again, no matter what. After the celebration, Marcus went to Eleanor's grave. The sun was setting. The sky was painted orange and gold. He sat down in the grass beside the headstone. Hey, Mom, it's been 5 years. Can you believe it? 5 years since you left us. 5 years since I found you on that street. 5 years since everything changed. He pulled a flower from his pocket and placed it on the grave. I brought you something, a photo. It's Eleanor, Derek's daughter, your granddaughter. She's 3 years old now. She has your eyes, and your smile, and your stubborn streak. Marcus laughed softly. Derek is a good father. Can you believe that the man who threw you on the street is now changing diapers and reading bedtime stories? He's been sober for 6 years. He runs 15 shelters. He saved 3 lives in a burning building. He's not the same person anymore. None of us are. He was quiet for a long moment. I think about you every day. Every single day. When I wake up. When I go to sleep. When I make decisions. I ask myself what you would do, what you would say. And that voice in my head, your voice, it guides me. Even now. Even after all this time. Tears ran down his face. I never got to tell you this when you were alive. I was too ashamed, too proud, too stupid, but I'm telling you now. You were the best mother anyone could ask for. You loved us when we didn't deserve it. You believed in us when we didn't believe in ourselves. You forgave us when forgiveness seemed impossible. Everything good in my life comes from you. He touched the headstone. Thank you, Mom. For everything. For the sacrifices. For the love. For the second chances. I will never stop trying to make you proud. I will never stop building on what you started. I will never stop loving you. Marcus stood up. He looked at the setting sun, at the city spreading out below the cemetery, at the world that had been transformed by one homeless woman's faith. Love costs nothing, he whispered. But it changes everything. He walked back to his car. Derek was waiting there with Sarah and little Eleanor. Ready to go home? Derek asked. Marcus looked at his brother, at his niece, at this family that had been broken and rebuilt. Yeah, he said. Let's go home. They drove away together. 3 generations of Thompsons, bound by blood, bound by struggle, bound by the love of a woman who never stopped believing. 12 years later, Marcus Thompson died peacefully in his sleep. He was 75 years old, the same age his mother had been when he found her begging on the street. He left behind a legacy that touched millions of lives. 47 Eleanor's House locations across the country. Over 50,000 elderly people served. A foundation worth $300 million. And a family that would never forget where they came from. Derek delivered the eulogy at Marcus's funeral. My brother found our mother begging on the street outside his limousine. In that moment, he had a choice. Keep driving to his billion-dollar meeting, or turn around and face the truth. He chose the truth, and that choice changed everything. For him, for me, for thousands of people we'll never meet. He looked at the crowd. Marcus taught me that success isn't measured by money. It's measured by the lives you touch, the people you help, the love you leave behind. By that measure, my brother was the most successful man I've ever known. Derek's daughter Eleanor, now 15 years old, placed a flower on the casket. Goodbye, Uncle Marcus. Say hi to Grandma for me. The service ended. The mourners departed. But the legacy continued. In shelters across America, elderly people slept in warm beds. In families across the country, estranged relatives reached out to reconnect. In hearts everywhere, hope flickered where there had been only darkness. All because a billionaire saw his mother begging on the street. And instead of driving away, he stopped. He turned around. He faced the truth. And he spent the rest of his life proving that love costs nothing but changes everything. That forgiveness is the greatest gift we can give. That family isn't about blood, but about showing up. That it's never too late to do the right thing. Eleanor Thompson believed all of this. She died believing it. And because of her faith, her sons became living proof. The story doesn't end here. It continues in every life touched by Eleanor's house. in every abandoned person who found shelter, in every broken family that healed, in every heart that learned to forgive. This is the power of a mother's love. This is the legacy of a homeless woman who never stopped believing. This is the truth that will echo through generations. Love wins. Always. Forever. No matter what.